Northwest Now is supported, in part, by viewers like you. Thank you.
Higher interest rates are holding, the economy's pretty flat, and yet somehow home prices remain high, climbing by double digits in some local submarkets. Tonight, our expert panel is talking about market trends, mortgages, and the battle between buyers and sellers. And our Steve Kiggins with the story of trying to find a home in Western Washington. We're discussing what may be the largest investment you'll ever make next on Northwest Now. The story of real estate this year is the story of big trends driving the generations. Younger millennials experienced tough job markets, a huge increase in prices, and then a pandemic which exposed the nation's huge undersupply of new homes, sending prices through the roof again. To make matters worse, the oldest Gen Z home buyers are now coming into the housing market, so two generations are overlapping a bit and competing against each other for first homes. And then there's the boomers, who own $19 trillion worth of real estate, which is 42% of the nation's real estate wealth. They have really slowed down when it comes to downsizing because they're not going to walk away from their 30-year, 3% fixed interest rate loans, and neither is Gen X that sits in there right behind them. On top of all that, the home builders have learned some hard lessons and now build at a more measured pace. There are just 5 weeks of inventory in Western Washington. A balanced market is said to lie at 6 months. The result? The median price in King County is $925,000. That's up 14% in a year. This despite higher interest rates. In Pierce County, up 4% to $550,000. In Snohomish, up 9% to $751,000. And $519,000 in Kitsap County, up 4% in a year. Statewide, this chart from the Office of Financial Management shows the clear trend when it comes to median home prices. Northwest Now's Steve Kiggins has more on the story.
The cost of housing in our region has risen so fast, it's pushed some people completely out of the market, but not everyone out of the game. Tonight we meet one couple who tells us this new economic reality has forced them to rethink everything. The Hanson family says they didn't just want a new house, they want to move into a walkable community. And they wanted property big enough to start a hobby garden in the backyard. Well, they found exactly what they were looking for. It cost them only $30,000.
It'll be fun to do, things outside.
Yeah, we want to keep the house, as it's part of its neighborhood and it is traditional. So we're not looking to demolish it and totally renovate it.
For Brandon and Leica Hanson and baby boy Luca, the big moving day is just around the corner.
Yeah, I guess it just feels like a little faster. Like we can move things along faster than we had originally thought.
At first, their search for a new abode in the Seattle area meant prices forced their hunt beyond the city's limits.
Up by Fall City or Ashford or
just a little out of the way.
Marble Mount or Concrete, like North Cascade.
They not only want a house, they also want a community with a change of pace.
We're young enough that I don't know, that's what we hear a lot from the older folks is you're young, so do that while you're young or have an adventure while you're young.
So last year, the Hansons began their new adventure, and they purchased a 100-year-old farmhouse sitting on about an acre of land, big enough to begin a garden. But there's a catch. The home is nowhere near Seattle. Instead, it's all the way in Okayama, Japan. It cost them around $30,000 for both the home and the property. But they have to leave the United States to live their American dream.
The house is cute and we really like it. I like it has a cute little Japanese garden in the front of it.
The couple is already familiar with Japan. They feel like they have a leg up, having already lived in the region for a couple years. They believe the change in pace and culture will be positive for their first child. It's an opportunity they feel is quickly vanishing in their home country as affordability and a sense of home awaits them across the Pacific.
It's not just as straightforward as
We've
graduate, get a job, save up, apply. It just also feels a little out of your control when it's interest rates.
In Seattle, Steve Kiggins, Northwest Now.